All right, everybody, welcome into the Couch Potato Sports Show. It is me, Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio, as we're here on our Sunday morning tradition that continues on here, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow, February 9th, is our 17th year here on the Couch Potato Sports Show, bringing it to you week in and week out most of the time. As we skipped a couple of weeks and things of that sort during the time, but not very many because that's just what we do here on the Couch Potato Sports. That having been said, of course, let's bring him on in. He is a guy that has been joining us for quite some time. 3 years, I think. 92 to 3. He's won it twice. Less than 3 years. It's the Podfather on a Sunday morning. Good morning, my friend. How you doing?
What's going on? It's Super Bowl Sunday. Are we excited?
I don't know how excited I am about it, but I when we came on, I just noticed something while we are in the green room and the show started. I think it scared the living crap out of you. Is that what happened?
I had my speaker turned up so damn loud that once you started the blare in the intro, I'm like, wow, shit.
Yeah, good. Good. I did it right then. That's got it all set. As far as that is concerned, of course, our show being sponsored by Nest Egg Wealth Advisors. One of my good buddies up there, as far as Rick Lucas, and helping you with all your investment needs. I don't have much of a portfolio. But if you got a portfolio, want a portfolio, need a portfolio, get with him. This guy's going to help you as far as what you're going to need as far as your future is concerned. So always good to see old Rick Lucas. And I talk to him a lot on Facebook. We do a lot of Facebook chatting and stuff. So that having been said, like you said, it is Super Bowl Sunday. So I guess the question that I would ask you then is, how come people are
yes, I'm
not
going to watch the halftime
excited?
show.
Huh?
Yes, I'm going to watch the halftime show. I don't care about the music, but I'm still going
I
to watch.
wasn't going to ask you that, and you made me forget my question. That just goes to show. No, okay. No, what out of looking at the Super Bowl, excited about it? No, per se. It's just going to be a good game. I'm really excited about that part. It's going to be a good game. But as far as, and I think it also kind of puts the NFL where it is now, where you don't have the biggies in it anymore. You don't have the Chiefs. Now you got the Patriots, but it's a different Patriots team. Um, so what are you looking forward to most in the game? Is it the game? Is it a matchup? Is there something about the game that you find really intriguing, as far as watching the game and what you're excited about looking at?
I want to know who Chris Collier is going to pull for because none of his guys are in this thing. So, but no, look, it's going to be a good game. I mean, yeah, it may, honestly, it might be a blowout with the Seahawks, destroying the Patriots, but the Patriots might put up a good fight. Who knows? Look, it's as we've come to learn in the NFL, the game doesn't finish after the first quarter, the second quarter, or the third quarter. You have 2 minutes left in the game, and if you're down by 17, you still got a chance. It's just the nature of the beast. And then whether it's controlled by the referees that way, the NFL, or just how things seem to happen, I don't know. I mean, it's what makes. No one gets excited that that much excited about the eighth inning of the World Series unless it's your team. No one gets excited about the NBA Finals if you're 5 minutes left in the fourth period, or unless it's your team. The NFL is universal. I mean, the NFL is. I mean, I'm wearing a Dallas Cowboys sweatshirt, and I don't only have a dog in the fight, but I have a favorite who I'm probably going to pick. But would I be upset if the team won? No, not really, because there's a good story there too. I mean, yeah, you have a head coach who used to play for that particular team, won a Super Bowl for that team, and if he won the Super Bowl as a coach, no one's ever done that with the same team.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of a cool story to throw in there, and it could have you got a young quarterback in Drake May who, I mean, maybe this year the league kind of saw who he really is. And it's
Okay,
so
stop. You're going to mess up my whole setup.
okay.
I just asked for one, but that's okay. You got but because again, it's set up as you see. You kind of mentioned what you're talking about, and then you
Well,
brought up
you
Vrabel.
need to let me in on this shit earlier before
Well,
we start talking.
no, we don't. I don't do that. That's the reason why I like my show. I like to get it off the top of your head. I don't want people to have time to think about it. I want to know what's right there.
Right.
But Coach of the Year, Mike Vrabel,
Yeah.
Willie Falster. I think it is a very interesting thing here because when you think about Mike, how many rings does he have? By the way, he's got
Yeah,
quite
4 or 5. Yeah.
he's got quite a few. He don't. I don't. Let's find out that how many rings. I yeah. Does Vrabel have? And I think it's 6 actually. And we would be wrong. It is 3. He's got 3 rings as a player. So he joined the club a little bit, little either he joined a little bit late or was part of the first regime that rolled through there. But and that's always something player and we even asked the question, can players get in for being just a coach and a player? No, it's a combo of both, as we learned last week. So Vrabel's a shoe in as a player, but never mind you add up on top of his accolades of taking a first year head coaching job back with the Patriots, got him right back to the Super Bowl, right back to the winning ways, and driving Patriot haters nuts because they're tired of seeing the Patriots in there. I get why they think that, but this is a total different team.
Yeah. And the thing is that with Bravo, I mean, look, if he wins today, this takes him into the conversation of are you a first ballot Hall of Fame? Something that the previous coach of the Patriots can't say. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, because as a player and as a coach, you won from both levels. If he does it today, if he doesn't do it today, I mean, he still has the rest of his career to handle it. I mean, he can still get in. I mean, that's not a problem. The one thing I always kind of wondered is like, the Hall of Fame clock starts 5 years. I mean, it starts the day you retire from the league.
No, when you officially turn in your papers as a retired, because there have been a lot of players that didn't know if they were going to retire or not. Their last game they played, and then they turned in their papers. Now, I don't know if it's retroactive, like if they don't turn in their papers for 2 or 3 years. I don't know if it's retroactive or not, but if you do decide that you want to play again or go back in and do what you do, there you are.
Well, I don't know if to how it goes from you retire, you turn the paperwork as a player,
right?
Then you become a coach. Does the clock restart there, or can you be an existing head coach, still actively coaching, and then get into the Hall of Fame?
The only way that happens is if you deserve it enough as a player and you're up for the player and you happen to be a coach. So
Well, then let's say
but
Troy,
they don't get put in for their coaching abilities per se.
Right. But let's say Troy Aikman was, he was a Hall of Fame quarterback for the Cowboys. He retires, and then, he turns in his paperwork. Clock starts. He becomes the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys at that point. Okay, and this is all far fetching, but whatever. Just go with me on this. And then let's say he somehow miraculously won more Super Bowls as a coach as he did as a player, but does he already go in the Hall of Fame before all that, or does he have to wait till he retires from coaching?
I think that like I said, I can't. I'm not sure. Maybe there's an amendment kind of thing, like the Constitution, where you got to make some changes and stuff, and you can add it in afterwards, as far as their accolades. But as far as what they get in, it's usually because of one thing. Usually, I don't think that there's too many that we would even bring into the conversation based upon coaching and playing.
Now, now,
Ditka would
now,
be
now,
one.
now there have been coaches who've gone to the Hall of Fame, then came back to coach.
Oh yeah, I think yeah,
Bill
that is
Parcells did that. So I mean, you know.
yeah. Yeah, so I'm not necessarily sure the actual. Well, maybe
We
we
ask
should
the
look
hard
that up.
questions here on the Couch Potato Sports Show, folks. I mean, it's
Yeah,
Sunday. It's Super Bowl Sunday. And we'll wait till we get in the offseason. All the weird questions will come out then. So
yes, yeah. So, but that being said, we got Vrabel Willie Live Up, also Coach of the Year. Congratulate for Vrabel getting the
did Ben
getting
Johnson get screwed?
Ben Johnson. I don't know. Well, seeing that goes into the point. Would he got it if that voting happened after the last game of the NFL or regular season NFL?
I thought all
Because
this. I thought all the awards were based off the regular season.
they are, but as we spoke, I think it was last week and maybe a couple of weeks ago, how much influence of what they did during the playoffs compared to when they voted. I don't see that's one of the questions I want. When was the final vote actually put in? Was it after a couple of games of the playoffs, and then you see where Vrabel went compared to Ben Johnson and everything else? And so, you know, I don't know. I guess aren't you our research
No,
expert? No.
please. Don't be silly.
So maybe we'll find out about that. But so there's
I'm too busy making Muppets, sir. I don't have time to do research on NFL.
Gotcha. All right. So, as the week went by,
by the way, real quickly, Disney on the Disney the Disney not channel, but on their streaming service, Disney Plus, they have the new Muppet Show on there.
I heard about that, and I seen my picture, which, by the way, I thought was really cool. So I'm going to put that up here one of these days. So because I like that picture, kind of looked like me if I was a Muppet, kind of,
Right.
Yeah, right. So, but now I scanned the internet for questions about what's going. Well, it's my little world.
Did you all the porn sites? I mean,
my little world
because
of the internet.
They don't allow that.
Because there's a lot of places I don't go in the internet, but my area of the internet, and found the biggest question.
The internet is universal, right? I mean, you can be in your part of Arizona and still hit the entire world, right?
I know, but my part of the internet is not as many as others. But that being said, this is the next one. Big questions about the game. Looking at what's going on and who he is. Can Sam Darnold prove everyone wrong about who he is? I already think he's proved me wrong about who I think he is, just by the last 2 seasons. By the way, there hasn't been a better quarterback as far as wins are concerned for the last 2 years besides Sam Darnold. So you got to look at those numbers and go, wow, look at what this. So I hope parts of me hopes that he can prove everybody wrong in this game. And then, be one of those guys where people look at him early in the career going, this guy, he sucks. And he gets to prove him maybe wrong a little bit. I think he proved him wrong in Minnesota, but I think the fact that he did it again with a different team, with different coaching staff, and now they're sitting in the Super Bowl, there's something to be said about that.
Well, it's the all or nothing attitude that fans have, Well, did he win it all? Well, but I mean, he's proven to be a winner.
Yes.
He's proven, given the right circumstances, given the change of atmosphere, and given the right team around him, he can do what he was asked to do when he got drafted in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, he got drafted by the Jets. I mean, let's face it, it's like being drafted by the Browns. You come in as a handicap, and I mean, you can't expect to win it all there. So I mean, I hate that we all focus on today's game being the end all be all for some players. I mean, look at John Elway. John Elway went there 3 or 4 different times before he even got the one big win.
And then
But like everybody put that whole thing of, well, can Elway do it? Is he going to be the greatest of all time to do it? I'm like, look at Dan Marino. He went one time and didn't win. But am I going to take away from the fact that he was not a great quarterback? Hell no, he was a great quarterback. It's just that, unfortunately, in Miami, they never built around him very well. And the thing is, this isn't basketball. This isn't, a one-player team. We always thought the whole thing of, well, Dak Prescott, he always just a big one. He didn't play defense. If he played defense, I don't think he'd be that great of a defender. But, I'm sure he would not want to have the other team march down the field like they'd have against his current Cowboys team and score as many times as they have to make him have to go out there and score even more. So, look, today's game is just that. I mean, you see the lights behind me here with the background. That's what it's turned into, the big spectacle that it is. Now they got to go out there and execute. Can Sam Darnold go? What if he goes out there and just a bet today? Who sit there and go, well, there you go. I mean, the thing is, certain-minded, football people would say that because they're so tied into winning or losing.
Absolutely. Well, hold on. That is a true statement, but that's what the game is all about. I mean, Herm Edwards said it best by anybody. You play to win the game. So that's got to be a big chunk of who you are. Can you win the games regardless of your position? Like you said, basketball, it's defense and offense at the same time. You're doing both of them. Hockey, same thing, all that stuff. But this is where one side of it, you still got to be able to carry the other in order to be considered great. Because, I can't tell you how many times Tom Brady had to come back and win a game. Drew Brees did it many times. He played for the same. I mean, the list can go on and on. You got to be considered great in this game. You got to carry the defense, especially when there's no defense there.
But it's the argument I always have about Dak Prescott. He puts up 45 points in a game. The other team puts up 46. Do we blame him on that? People seem to want to blame Prescott for that a lot. I mean, it does happen. It does happen.
Dak Prescott. Well, let's talk, since we're talking about it, let's talk about him then. Dak Prescott, early in the season, when he came in, his first year, great year. And then he had some years where he wasn't able to carry the defense very much. Now he is, because you've seen the progression of him. And by year 6, there's where your argument thing comes in, because from year 1 to 5, there was a lot of times where he was a big part of the reason why they weren't winning football games. So you got to be able to take those 4 years like a piece of pie, take them out of the pie, and enjoy the rest of the 3/4 of the pie if you eat a quarter of it. So, that's kind of what it is. By the way, I was going to say, he's now coming in, not on the camera, but he is there. So I didn't know he was going to be here. So let's break. What? It is. He's here.
Dig it, sucker.
Good reasons why I'm glad he's here is because I actually have this song on my phone and I listen to it every day. He's got that great entry music too. It's Bryson Brooklyn. Not from Brooklyn. He's in Brooklyn. Okay, let me get that thing out of there so I can actually see my man here. All right, bang. There he is. How you doing, my man?
What's going on, guys? Happy Super Bowl Sunday to the one and only Podfather and Sonny Clark.
That's right. And by the way, this off season, I'm going to be working a lot on some graphics for our football season for next year. So a lot of some new graphics are going to be there. By the way, Bryce, just to let you know, tomorrow, February 9th, is our 17th year doing this fine program coming over from the Blog Talk Radio days. I don't know, you weren't part of the Blog Talk Radio days, were you?
I mean, maybe towards the tail end.
Yeah.
I would call in a couple times, and that's how we met. And then you got the information and invited me to come on when you made the switch.
Yeah. Well, we had to make the switch because Blog Talk Radio was it was worse than AM radio, for God's sake. So, and it was that, if you're hearing the echoes, but and frankly, we kind of started this video idea before COVID, like 4 months before COVID was in it. That's kind of when it was like September of 2019 when we started doing the video portion of this show. And then so we kind of, I tell Tom McManus all the time, we are the pioneers of internet radio and this kind of thing, because we've been doing it for so long. And a couple of other people that I know that did Blog Talk Radio has been even longer than I have. So it's been a fun, good run, and I'm glad that you're a part of it each and every weekend during the football season. That having been said, so before you came in, we were talking about the big questions coming into the Super Bowl, and the one that's scrolling on the bottom is one of the biggest one that the chatter has been about all week long. What's your take up on the Sam Darnold part of the game that we're going to see here today?
Well, first, let me say, Sonny, congratulations on 17 years. You do a great job. The show does not exist and run without its main star, which is Sonny Clark, doing all the work.
Yeah. Yep.
And I give you all the credit. I mean, obviously, Podfather, you're a vital part, but let's give Sonny Clark
two-time pick'em champion, sir. Come on,
but it's not all about the pick'em.
Making sure the nuts and bolts.
By the way, I've won 5 of them. Okay.
Setting the table for everyone to be able to come on and just have a good time talking sports. Always been fun. Looking forward to doing it more, Sonny. You're a great guy. You do a great job here, man. So yeah, congrats on that. And to your fine co-host for being along, for coming along the ride and making it work for you. So this show is always fun, man. I always look forward to it. So,
I got a bone to pick with him, by the way. I got a bone to pick with him because when we were figuring out when we were going to do the show today, and I suggested the time, and this guy had the excuse. This is the excuse, and I almost have to take his man card away from him. I almost have to take that man card away from him because he said he would be done with food prep by the time the show starts. I'm this close to taking that man card away from him because listen, when that thing hit 10 o'clock, when he said that he'd be here, I was food prep's done. We got some football to talk about.
Hey, I mean, sometimes it goes later. Sometimes it goes later than you think. So I can understand that. I've got my Super Bowl party that I'm going to be going to a little bit later. So I'm excited to watch the game tonight. What a whirlwind few weeks, man. We got to give credit. I can only imagine how frustrated the lovely Carla was watching her Broncos really just give that game away. They should be in the
Super Bowl. Happen?
I think it really started with
last 3 minutes of the damn game. Last 3 minutes of the game just takes your Super Bowl aspirations away from you.
I just think the Patriots played the football game the way the Broncos should have played the football game. I mean, it was right there for you early in the game. Take the points, go up 10-0. You got your backup quarterback, so you go with the points. That is playing to win the game, especially when you play defense the way they do. Just managing the game and other factors will cost them a trip to the Super Bowl. And Sean Payton's going to kick himself because you don't know when you're getting back. The Seahawks are that was a high-level NFC Championship game. I mean, wow.
Oh, yeah.
And the Seahawks, I give him a lot of credit. You got to give Sam Darnold credit. He was dealing. He plays in a very efficient offense that plays the way you need to play. More under center stuff. They can run it. They build the pass game builds off the run game. It's very difficult to defend for defense because you have to defend all parts of the field. Really good stuff. Good championship game. So he can. Sam Darnold has an opportunity. You don't get a lot of these to completely turn around the narrative about him. He's on the cusp of it. The way he played, he was one of the big reasons why they won that game in the NFC Championship game. So you bet they're going to make Sam Darnold beat them. That's going to be the plan. You're not going to just let Kenneth Walker go off because you don't just if he can just turn around and give it to the tailback, that's going to be a problem. So Sam Darnold has a chance to completely rewrite his legacy tonight.
Absolutely.
He does this a guy that was basically scrap heaped to the Super Bowl playing this way, which tells you that organizations have a big part in how your quarterback's going to play.
I agree.
And I don't mind, like, for example, real quick, Podfather, I don't mind the fact that Pittsburgh didn't give Sam Darnold at the time $30 million a year. I'm actually fine with that. I understand why they didn't do that because you just didn't know for 30, 40 million a year, are you getting a quarterback that's going to be able to elevate you if you're going to pay him that for the playoffs for a long-term deal? Well, he's proven the doubters wrong. And I tell you, the only organization that gets to kick themselves are the Vikings.
Yep.
You bet on J.J. McCarthy, who I felt was drafted too early, and you thought he was the guy, and I don't know if he is, and you could have been playing with Sam Darnold. So I think if anyone was going to get the bag at their existing team, it should have been Sam Darnold. And so, man, that's a tough one. That's got people fired.
Really quick, they get him for $33 million each year. He's got a 3-year contract, $100 million. That's $33.3 million. That is a bargain by today's standards at a quarterback position. Podfather, go ahead.
But hasn't Sam Darnold already turned everybody's narrative around him already? Given what he did last year, given what he's done this year. Win, lose, or draw. The game's going to be what it is. The Seahawks can go out there and blow it all today, and the Patriots will get in the Super Bowl. But does that take away from who Sam Darnold has become just because of today's game?
No, I don't think so.
Well, here's what I'll say.
How he shows up, maybe.
Right. Because if he does not play well in this game and they lose, all of those previous questions will come back. You're going to hear a lot of the.
But in a way, it's very unfair though, because all season long he has shown that he is not the same quarterback that was drafted by the Jets. That he followed up on what he did last year with a different team. He's just playing one more game. That's all it is.
Fair. At the quarterback position, it's never fair.
Right, but it's the biggest game.
Right.
It's the biggest game on the biggest stage for a top 5 pick. Right. It's like, so this is where, honestly, Podfather, based on his pedigree, where he was drafted, this is where he should be. And he needs to be a big key and part of the way they win. Because if he falls apart, 3 picks, and the Patriots end up getting their 7th Super Bowl. It's not gonna look really.
That hurt to say.
Oh my Lord! I'm the biggest Seahawks fan ever today. They just can't let it happen. I can't see it. I can't take it. But I think that narrative's still gonna persist. If they lose and he plays well, I think you'll hear some of that, Podfather, but it'll be solidified. Hey, man, this is a guy that can take you to the dance.
Well, the biggest argument's going to be is look at the end result. All the analysts on ESPN and everything else are going to look at just the final result, and that's the score. And the thing is that win, lose, or draw. That's all. They're going to go on. Well, but he played really well, or he really shit the bed. They're not going to do that at all. They're just going to say, look at the score. And case in point, and I threw his name out there earlier, Dan Marino. do we take Super Bowl 19 and sit there and go, well, he didn't win that one, so he wasn't with that, so he wasn't the best quarterback out there? No, Dan Marino was a top 5 quarterback in the 80s. Just never could get to the the final game all the time. So, I think as fans we look more at the end result as far as Super Bowls are concerned, as if that player was the end all be all best player at that position at that year or whatever else. When the fact is that, and as I told Sonny, you cannot fault Dak Prescott for the Dallas Cowboys defense. If he's putting up 45 and the other team's giving 46, who's really at fault here? But they'll always throw the quarterback on the bus because he's the guy who drives the bus. So I think it's a little unfair, but at the same time, I think Sam Darnold, this is a great opportunity for him. He used to play more games than he's ever played in 1 year. This is game number 19 for him. So I'm happy for him. I hope the guy can do it. Wouldn't be surprised if they should pull it out, though. So this is a very evenly matched game, both defensively and offensively, I think.
Really quick, Bryce, how long do we have you for?
Oh, you know what, Sonny? Today, I just popped in to give my prediction only because it's NBA, baby, and my Knicks are playing. They got a big game today against the Celtics. I am all in on my Knicks this year.
Regular season NBA game is
a
little more important than the Couch Potato Sports Show.
The New York
Knicks, diving.
The New York Knicks, top 5 fan base in the NBA. This is a rabid fan base that loves their Knicks, and so I'm watching that game. I will say this about tonight's game. I think you've got, first of all, Drake May is dealing a lot better than people may think. There was a big argument that he could have won the MVP over Stafford. I was going to go Christian McCaffrey just with the injuries that they've faced in San Francisco and the way he's played. But Drake May's in a similar boat, Podfather, of Sam Darnold. Now, he doesn't have the baggage, but this is legacy for him. Because can he, they haven't faced a defense like the Seahawks. Can he elevate that team, elevate those receivers outside of Diggs, who's already kind of there? But if the game ends up being on his shoulders against that defense, and he actually comes out and deals and wins them a Super Bowl, you're talking about, oh man, is this prime for another run to get 2 Super Bowls with Drake May, or 3 Super Bowls, Lord forbid. But, I see the Patriots as a very sound, well-coached team, very good in the secondary. Very good in the secondary. Jackson Smith and Jigba's going to have his hands full with that secondary. They play well. Gonzalez, I think they're going to put him on him and say, hey, this is your moment. He's going to follow Jackson Smith and Jigba. They've got some pieces on defense that can really hurt you. Offensively, I do think talent-wise, these quarterbacks right now, the way they're playing might be kind of even though I think the Seahawk offense has been better. But, lights are going to be bright for Drake May too. So it's not, they're going to have to manufacture some offense. And, you got Ramondre Stevenson. Let's watch out for that name. He fumbles the football. He tends to put it on the ground. Does he fumble once or twice? So we'll see. But all in all, my bias has kicked in. Even though I do think the Seahawks are a better team, I have to root for them to win. I'm going with the Seahawks to get a Super Bowl win because I just can't take the fact of saying the 7-time champion New England Patriots. I just can't do it.
Well, that being said, let's bring him on in. It is the co-host of this program.
Can't see me.
And no, I don't have him dancing. I want to get back to the original. It's Super Bowl Sunday, and I couldn't see him for the first half hour of the show because I told Bryce and Podfather, you might have to turn in your man card because you were food prepping when the show started. So, I don't know. I think you stop food prepping and get to the show. I don't know. But so one has to know, what were you food prepping this morning?
So good morning, guys. First of all, did we lose the Podfather just now?
Yeah, he'll come back in.
Yeah.
His internet's
Yeah,
probably getting
he just
bad.
disappeared. Power went out. Oh, that sucks. Well, so I did most of the prepping last night actually, and this morning the only thing I really had to do was stick the meat in the oven, and
Oh,
the other thing I had to do was start getting the condiments ready. Because you make the couple of things I had to make from scratch, like pickled onion and stuff like that. So,
Podfather lost power, by the way, just to let you know what he said. So probably something in that area. But, all right. So you're here. And so I am going to ask you the same thing that I asked Bryce in Brooklyn when he came in. Lots of things that people are looking forward to in this game. One of my favorites is this one. How many times will we reference the Marshawn Lynch and debacle and everything else and things of that sort? You can't hear me? Am I on? I can you hear
I
me,
can hear
Bryce?
you.
But
I can hear
Cuervo
you,
can't.
Bryce.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Hear me?
All right. So
Wherever
can you
we're
hear-
also not only we got the game, we got the Bad Bunny show and the halftime show. I'm ready, man.
Yeah.
can you?
Are you gonna watch that? You
I
gonna watch
am.
that show? Okay. All right.
Oh, Cuervo, you're not
Yeah.
asking me. You're not asking me between watching that and that other halftime show, are you?
Well, no. There's some people. That just think they sound cool, saying I'm not watching either one. I'm gonna go get a drink or use the bathroom. Like, go right ahead. No, listen. This is not a political show by any means, people. But I do know one thing about Bryce, and I wasn't even going to go there because I already knew the answer to that question. I already knew the answer to that. But
I don't know enough
yeah,
about.
no, that's a big reason for my so much food prep that I'm doing is because of yeah, but I mean, I enjoy the Super Bowl regardless, but there's a little extra with that today. So
Absolutely.
I
Can you
love
hear
it.
me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I love it. Can't wait for it. Can't
Yeah.
wait for it. It's gonna be a production.
Oh, it is, and a lot of people that don't know who he is or what he's about, you're gonna find out today.
It's one of the biggest. It's one of the biggest artists in the world, man. Like,
Sorry
let's
about
just
Lamar
enjoy
King.
it.
I didn't know who
Most
what
true. I
was
think
this?
Sonny's
Kamar?
still talking to
Oh,
himself. We
Lord.
can't hear.
The fact that Sonny Clark didn't know who he was, I'm not surprised.
Well, I knew
Yeah.
who he was because
Well,
of
look,
wrestling, but
I knew
outside
who.
of that,
I
I
already
didn't know.
knew you know who he is. Being living in New York, Bryce.
Of course.
I mean, come on.
Of
I mean,
course.
there's no way unless you live under a rock in Brooklyn. There's no way you don't know who he is. So, but I get it. There's other people around the country that
Sure.
are not familiar with his music or whatever.
Sure.
I mean, if you guys didn't know already, based on my little story I posted this morning, I carry Puerto Rican blood. My father was born there, and so half of who I am is from down there. And listen, I don't like all of his stuff. There's some stuff that I'm not really into,
Sure.
but some of the newer stuff I really enjoy because it feels like he really went back to the roots of the music that came from Puerto Rico
Mm.
and really brought it out in this last album that he did, because it's not all just the same stuff like he used to do. There's a very diverse record. If you've listened to all of it, there's different genres within Puerto Rican music that he uses in this album, and to me that's what I appreciate the most about his newer stuff, is because he really took it back to the roots and the history of music down there and applied it to his new album. So So that's what I'm looking forward to seeing how he does with that music. So Sonny, do we got your back or what?
I don't think so. You can't hear me. I'm
Yeah,
assuming,
no,
right?
we can't hear
Can
you,
you
man.
hear me, Bryce?
I can
Nothing.
hear you, Sonny.
Okay.
I hear.
All right,
I
so-
can hear Sonny.
All right. So then
Maybe it's because I'm on my phone. Because I'm not using
it
my
might
laptop
be.
right now. I'm gonna be on the move here shortly.
Maybe that is the reason
But
why.
maybe
All right.
if I go out and come back in, I'll be able to hear him.
Yeah,
So I'll try
that's what
that, and then we'll see what happens.
that's what just refresh your page and do that. Yeah, I
So I'll
think
be
that
back,
might
guys.
help. So he'll be right back. But that having been said, of course, that's the name of the show. Catch us. By the way, new off NFL season time is 2:00 or 3:00 Central, 4:00 your time, and we're going to do it in. So I get Sundays off, so I can have most of the day just doing jack nothing, and then go ahead and do the show and still have plenty of time. Can you hear me now, Cuervo?
I can hear you now. I'm on the phone, Sonny, because I'll be on the move.
Gotcha. Oh, you're on the move. So when are you leaving then?
No, I'm gonna be here at my house, but I just got to go back down to the kitchen.
Oh, gotcha. All right. So that being said, since we got Bryce, and let's get your idea of what you think you're going to see in today's Super Bowl, and then we'll get to other subjects after we lose Bryce there. But what's your take up on what you think you're going to see?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna see. I think people want and are expecting a. Well, I haven't seen the over under on it, but I think people are expecting a low scoring game, and that may not happen. It may be a higher scoring game than we think. You know, as much as people are enamored with Seattle's defense, I do think that New England finds ways to move the ball down the field, and I think that the biggest thing, and a lot of teams make this mistake against Seattle, is they try to air it out, which that's the last thing you want to do is try to stretch the field on that secondary. You just got to run right at them, and New England has a good running game, so I fully expect them to try and establish the run, tire that defense down, and I think that kind of like what Bryce was saying earlier, um, using the run game, but they have to make sure that they don't make mistakes. Don't let anybody strip the ball from you. Don't allow any takeaways to happen. So that's what I see, and I see that on both sides. I think Seattle's going to try to do the same thing. A lot of focus this year has been on Smith and Jigba. He wins Offensive Player of the Year. Congrats to him. He earned that for sure. But I do think that Kenneth Walker is going to be a big part of this game.
Definitely. Congratulations. I'm looking at the game really different. We talk about it, offense, defense, special teams. That's in reality of getting a whole football game. But I think instead of it being three parts of a game, parts that get completely overlooked because we are so embedded with what's happening on the field, we forget about the sidelines. You add a fourth element to the game is coaching, the experience of coaching, or coaching and or playing in a big game. Vrabel gets both now. So he gets the opportunity as a coach. He's got the NFL experience in Super Bowls 3 times as a player. And then you got on the other side the youth and the inexperience in big games of the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. Now, they always say defense wins Super Bowl. Well, guess what? That defense for the Patriots might not be Seattle like, but it is top 5 in the NFL. So who shows up, when they show up, why they show up is going to be a big part of this game, and that's going to be putting coaches putting players in the right position to make plays. And if they don't put them in the right position or know what might be coming their way, the failure might not be because of the players. It could be because of bad coaching, bad play calls. And that, I think, is going to be the difference in today's game. I mean, because you're getting basically, you got two. I hate this. God, I hate to say it. Podfather was right before you guys came on. You've got two basically the same football teams in front of you. The defense on Seattle's just a little bit better. So then now it's about placing those guys to make that play, whether it's, making the right play call on fourth down. That's the biggest story. Will we see that? If the game's on the line, will they run it? Will they throw it? All that other stuff. Will the right play be called in order for someone to become champion? And that ultimately is going to be coming from the coaching staff. It's the most important part of today's game. Out of any other Super Bowl where you can go, Mahomes, or you can list off players' names. This one here, you don't have any like crazy standout superstars that are considered the best in the NFL in reality this season in reality. So I think that's where it's going to come from. It's going to come from the coaching staff. It's going to be coming. It's going to come from guys on the sidelines to make to put it in there to get the victory. So I'm actually going to go with the experience, which I always usually do, because of of what's going on, the youth of the head coach and the inexperience in big games. This game's going to be won because of coaching, and the big one, as far as how the coaching works, is being able to take what that defense is going to give you, and Vrabel's going to be the first to realize what it is, to put it in Drake May's hand and say, listen, do this, or we're going to get 7 yards. Do that. And who knows what may happen. And I think Diggs is going to have a big game too. So that's the way I look at it. Podfather, what are you looking at in today's game, and who do you think will win? And then we'll cover all the outside stuff when we're going to lose guys. What do you think?
Bryce, don't go towards the light.
Yeah, you got a glare. You got a glare going on, Bryce.
Oh my God!
Hardly see.
Oh, do I didn't realize it.
Oh, no, all good.
Hold
I
on.
think he's the football god.
The light shining down on him. Yeah.
I you need to feel that every once in a while, but he should be back in a second. What's your take up on what you think you're going to see there, Podfather, today?
It's going to be a defensive struggle. I mean, both teams got it on defense. I was really hoping to see Houston in this situation rather than the Patriots, but I think the Patriots have as good of a defense as Houston. It's going to really depend on which quarterback's going to be able to light it up on their offense. So, the limited amount of mistakes is going to really be a big key. Who's not going to fumble as many times? I remember not to throw the Cowboys out there, but when the Cowboys played the Bills in the first time around, turnovers were everything. And turnovers, and the Bills had an opportunity, right? I mean, they blocked the punt, they got on the board first, but turnovers were everything in that game. I think in this game, the Seahawks, I think, have a better advantage. I don't think the first year coaching with Vrabel is going to be that big of a deal. Again, he knows how to coach football, so I think he knows how to get this team motivated for a big game. I think it's going to come down to Seattle being more familiar with the West Coast, being more familiar with the times out there. Weather's not going to be a factor. That's a good thing because, boy, as much as we like to sit on our couch and watch really bad snow games, I'm only glad we're not out there in them. So, give me the Seahawks. I like them.
Yeah, another thing I too, because Sonny kind of talked about experience, right? Who can you really say has more experience? Because if you really break it down, you're talking about two guys in the quarterbacks. This is their first Super Bowl, okay? At least starting. I don't know if Sam Darnold was a backup for somebody in the past, but this is going to be the first year that he starts in the game. Drake May, we already know this is his first time. And then you look at the head coaches, right? I mean, Vrabel, yes, he's played in Super Bowls, but it's different when you're coaching. And then McDonald It's his second year in Seattle. So you got two head coaches, one in his first year, the other one in his second year. You got two quarterbacks. They're both playing in their first Super Bowl. So who really has the experience advantage? I don't know that you can say either one of them has. So then you got to go a little deeper. And I look at the coordinators for both teams. Offensively, you've got a guy in Josh McDaniels on the New England side that has been there, done that so many times.
By the way, assistant coach of the year too, by the way.
Yeah. I'm not really a big fan of him, but I mean the numbers don't lie. Like he knows what he's doing as far as being an OC. Clint Kubiak, I'm a little concerned about it. We've seen this time and time again, guys. This guy's about to be the head, like, 9-10 o'clock tomorrow morning. It's going to be announced he's the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, Clint Kubiak.
Mm-hmm.
So how much is he focused on his next job as opposed to what he needs to be doing today? Like, you can sit here and feed me lip service all about, well, I'm not focused on that. I'm focused on winning this Super Bowl.
Baloney.
Yeah, okay. Whatever, dude. Like, I don't completely buy it. Just like last year when the Detroit Lions got knocked out, that Monday morning, guess what? Ben Johnson was in Chicago being announced as a head coach of the Chicago Bears. So it's like, you can try to say that you're not focused on your next opportunity or your first opportunity, but I don't know if I fully believe that.
Hey, for all three of y'all real quickly, and it's something me and Sonny were talking about last week about the Hall of Fame, and Josh McDaniel is a prime example of this question. As a coordinator, he is fantastic. We get that. Right? As a head coach, not so much. Does he get in the Hall of Fame based off his coordinating ability, or does he have to be a successful head coach?
He's got to be successful as a head coach, man. I have yet to see a guy that makes the Hall of Fame just based on being a really good coordinator.
Right. So but could he be the first?
No, I don't think so. I don't think he'd be the one.
Bryce?
What do you think, Bryce?
Oh, hold on, guys. I was looking at something else. We're talking about the
Josh McDaniels being the first in the Hall of Fame as an assistant coach. Is that what you were saying right there?
Right. Yeah, but because as a successful assistant coach, he's really good, right? Got the rings.
He does. I don't want to see. Don't want to see it.
Right.
Don't want to see it.
I get that, but I mean, but I'm saying though, could the NFL bend the knee on that?
No. The only reason why Belichick and maybe Brady won't be first ballot is because they cheated, and they thought that it was all over. And Belichick specifically thought, I got one over. I got my little suspension, and they just decided to be petty and be like, here you go. They should have just stood on it and said, we decided because of Spygate and him cheating the game and disrespecting the Shield that he's not going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, period. Whether we like it or not, you can say it's petty, but that's really the only reason why he's didn't get it.
It's so hypocritical.
Assistant coach.
Bryce, it's so hypocritical. Okay. All right. So, one of the things that we like to do up on this show in reality, is look at all the facts. Okay. And see what's going on. So if you want to, I say it's hypocritical when you look at it, because really simple in reality. Everyone cheats. I'm not falling for it. I'm not falling for it. I'm not falling for it. I don't believe it. I think every single one cheats you in the game until you get caught. I'm sorry. And you call me a pessimist. You can call me whatever you want. But listen, this game has definitely, how do you say? It's gone to where it is. But even back in the day, it was all about cheating. And under all the great players, ripping and turning, pulling, fingers and turning ankles and all this other garbage that was part of the game. All right. And so, Spygate, really, Yeah, was it in bad taste? Yes, but I got news for you. I bet you it's happened at least a dozen times before that. Just someone finally got caught doing it, and that's why I got a little problem with the fact that they quote unquote cheated. All right, the deflate gate. You know, who cares? I mean, really, that really had nothing to do with the outcome of the football game. I'm just really, it really the hypocrisy of guys that have never played the game that are voting. Oh yeah, they were cheaters. And if they ever played the game, yes, and I played the game, and yes, we all cheat. We all cheat and see what you can get away with it. That's why I have a real problem with it. But the simple fact of the matter is that yeah, you can use those as an excuse. Okay, as far as what, but really, Bill Belichick, he's got everything there, and there's one reason why he didn't make it on there, and it's right there. This woman that he has with him right now, that he is dating. Congratulations, you got someone 25-year-old hot lady, but really, what people are looking at you and they're calling you a dirty old man is what they're doing, and I'm telling you, I'm not buying all the cheating and everything. Compared to the success of the cheating, it was about the chick on the side. But what it does set up is for Tom Brady not to get in first ballot next year when he should be, or not next year, but the year after when he should be in there.
This is why I said on our show last week, I said ESPN is missing a golden opportunity to film this, to film how you get voted into the Hall of Fame. You know, so you have everybody on camera being accountable for why they're saying no.
Yeah, I mean, look, to me, when it comes to Belichick and Brady with Deflategate, the NFL's constant, it's kind of like the NFL reminds me actually of Sonny Clark. Sonny Clark's constant jabbering and going crazy.
I wish I had their money.
Jabbering and going crazy oftentimes comes back to bite him when it's his guy that he loves or something. And this is what happened in the NFL. All I've heard is protect the shield, player behavior, all this. So we shouldn't be surprised when two people who legitimately try to, regardless of how minuscule it is, were found trying to cheat the shield on the field of play. Now the NFL has to stand on its word and be petty. Like, this is different than you not liking T.O. Whether you like T.O. or not, he's a Hall of Famer based on the numbers. This is widespread cheating that may have had a tiny effect on the game. You got punished for it. If you wouldn't have did it, you'd be first ballot. So we know you're first ballot by your talent. We know that. You're going to have to now tell your kids and everyone else, why wasn't I first ballot? Because of Spygate. I cheated, and I shouldn't have did it. If he didn't do Spygate, he'd be first ballot. This is all on him. And if Brady doesn't get in first ballot because of Deflategate, that's all on him. That's on nobody else. We can rant and go crazy about voting and all that. Would Bill Belichick be first ballot if he did Spygate? If he didn't do Spygate? Yes. There you go. Don't spy on your don't spy on your peers. Don't thumb your nose at them. Because I tell you what, there's a couple teams, one being in Pittsburgh, that consistently laments how were they able to come up with these game plans and knew exactly what we were doing. Like, so even if it's this much, you shouldn't have did it. I don't care if everyone else is doing it. You got caught.
See, that's the hypocritical part of it, Bryce. When you say that, that's the hypocritical price that everybody pays. I don't care if everybody does it. Well, if you don't care if everybody does it, why do you care that it was Bill Belichick or Tom Brady? It's
not that you don't care. You can, like Jimmy Johnson was all indignant. Everyone does it. But Bill got caught and it was widespread. So guess what, Bill? And then you thumb your nose at everyone and then you continue to win and it makes it look like you beat the Shield, but at the end of the day, the Shield beat you. That's the way the NFL is. And so we can talk about how stupid it is, but guess what? He cheated. And so there's going to be a little bit of asterisk to say you weren't a first ballot.
I don't think it's stupid. I think it's hypocritical, though, don't you think, Bryce?
But
Go
you
ahead,
know,
Cuervo.
I think it's
Let
petty, but
Cuervo needs to hop in there real quick. Go ahead, Cuervo.
I think I can answer that question, Sonny. Let me just make sure I heard you right. So your question is, why does it matter that it's Bill Belichick? If everybody's cheating, why does it matter that it's Bill Belichick? That's your
No,
question?
why is it anybody is what I'm saying.
Why is it anybody?
Right. Why would it could be Belichick. It could be Sean Payton. It could be anybody, because they all listen, we're all sitting here saying they all cheat. Okay. We're not even questioning that. Okay. So why does it have to be part of anything when deciding who's going to be what in reality? Bill Belichick, and by the way, Tom Brady's not going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer because of this whole thing.
no, he will be.
No, he won't get. He
Listen.
won't be first ballot.
Let
Eli's
me
going
tell
to get
you.
in. Eli's going to get in, and that's what's going to happen.
Listen,
And
time out.
and Eli's going to
Sonny,
beat him
Sonny,
again.
Sonny. Listen, here's the thing. Tom Brady is doing the best PR situation he can ever do. He's the voice of the NFL. He's the lead analyst on Fox. That alone, because he doesn't suck at it, that alone is going to erase the idea that he possibly cheated with Deflategate. They're going to look at the rings. They're going to look at how he's carried the shield, as it were, past his retirement as a player. Whereas Belichick is now in college football with a side chick and just kind of micromanaging his way to a better, easier deal for his son. Clearly, these are not the same thing. Okay, Tom Brady will get in first ballot because he won a championship not only with the Patriots, but he did it with the Bucks. And again, the Deflategate is not nearly as bad as, say, Spygate. Okay,
mm-hmm.
I mean, deflating a ball is a little different than looking at someone's butt.
Yeah. Right. I'll say this, guys, if I could jump in. I don't know if you were done with your point, Father, but I think it was more about Spygate than it was Deflategate. I think Deflategate, it was more of a guilty by association, right? There was no proof of what happened because Brady's phone magically was damaged, or I forgot exactly what the excuse was of why he couldn't show the text messages or whatever. So you're guilty by association on that one. Let's just call it what it is. Spygate, on the other hand, and if I'm not mistaken, there have been quotes that have came out and said that Spygate was a part of the reason that Belichick didn't get first ballot, because of specifically the Spygate situation. Okay, so yeah, the Spygate one held a lot more weight than Deflategate did, because you could argue, even think about it, during the winter time, do the tires on your car not go a little flatter because of the cold air, right? It could happen. We don't know for sure, but it is kind of funny that when they asked for Brady's phone, the FBI asked for it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, my phone got messed up," or whatever he said. Yeah, kind of weird, right? Here's what I'll say about Brady. That man is playing chess, and we don't even know it. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. He's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. Brady is getting in the good graces of all the voters by working for Fox, by becoming part owner of an NFL franchise, so he can be in good terms with ownership.
He's become a good ambassador.
Yeah, he's becoming an ambassador. Like, nobody's going to forget about that stuff, but I think his angle is going to be, well, maybe they're going to be more willing to forgive me if I give back to the NFL now that I'm done playing. Right. So now he works for the NFL. He's minority owner of the Raiders. He's probably doing other stuff for the NFL too. And so, yeah, he needs a lot of that. There's a lot of chapstick he's using. So I think he's playing chess on the
Is
league. And
anybody alarmed with the fact that Sonny had that on the sandbar?
Hey, I'm got dry. Hey,
yeah, well,
it's
you know what's
winter.
look,
It's
look,
winter in Arizona, man. My knee, right? My
Podfather,
lips are cracked.
what Sonny does off camera, it ain't none of my business, man. He,
I mean, just saying.
but no, and in all seriousness, I that's where I stand on all of it. And so yeah, I think, but I will say this: I think if he doesn't become first ballot, you think the sky was falling because Belichick didn't get in first ballot? Oh my God! You wait and see what happens. If Brady doesn't get first ballot, at that moment they will, and you can put me on the record saying they will absolutely change the voting process.
I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. If Brady gets in, it will be a reflection on dirty old men because Robert Crafton is massaging as well as Tom Brady with his side chick. It'll be dirty old man turning.
By the way, Sonny, come on, that's ridiculous. Belichick's girlfriend has nothing to do with why he didn't get in.
I don't believe that for 2 seconds, Cuervo. You can call me a pessimist. You can call me whatever it is. It's not a stretch. It's not a stretch. People like to throw their morality. I'm not done. People like to throw their morality out there thinking that they're better than anybody else. Do I have a problem with Bill Belichick doing what he does? No. Congratulations. 60-year-old man, regardless how he picks up a 24-year-old hottie, congratulations. I see that on different Hall of Fame level than just football. However, people's moralities, they always talk about it. They're not even afraid of saying it. They make it part of what they're going to do.
Hold on. First of all, morality, did he do anything illegal? He was never married. And it's not like this girl is underage or something weird like that. What is he doing that's illegal or wrong?
It's weird. I'm telling you, it's weird.
Okay,
You got to say,
hold on. No, not illegal or wrong.
No, I'm not saying it's illegal. I'm saying just a different type of morality. People look at a 7-year-old man.
Ethics, right?
Okay, maybe that's the better way of saying ethics. A 67-year-old with a 24-year, I don't know if I don't know what she is, but she's gorgeous. And no one on the face of this earth is saying that she looks at Bill Belichick and goes, God, I love him so much. He's gorgeous. He's good looking. Yeah, or he's just a good person in general because no one believes that either. Okay, so you got that up on top of it. Go ahead.
Well, then that's a her problem.
Yeah,
that's a her problem.
Yes, that's a her problem. But it does feed into him. Go ahead, Pop.
You guys do realize we're getting an ethics lessons from a guy who watches Love Island, okay?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying exactly.
Guys, I've got to go ahead and get off the phone. But
Bryce,
I got to get out of here. But
so let me ask before you leave, okay? Because Super Bowl is all done.
Is this the last that we're going to see for Bryce for the next 6 months?
That's what I was going to ask.
No, keep me posted on topics and when we're getting back on, and I may pop in. Just let me know.
Wait, hold on, Bryce. I don't think of topics until we really walk in, except for the things that I put together, that are on NFL on Fox in Facebook, and I'll grab the picture. I literally have no idea what we're talking about.
We start talking wrestling during the off season.
Yeah, we bring more wrestling involved. Usually, first hour is wrestling, second hour is football.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, actually, we'll probably see you in March, Bryce, for free agency. When free agency kicks off, and then in April for the draft.
It's only a month away.
Yeah.
The draft is going to be, where the draft's going to be.
Yeah.
By the way,
City.
Before I go, and I'm going to ask Bryce this because he's got to go. You want to talk about a screw job and you know me. I got some love for Sanders. I really do. But how does Trevor Lawrence not get into the freaking Pro Bowl where Joe Flacco and Sanders?
Because he said no. He declined, Sonny. He declined.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I did not know that. So
he declined it.
To go crazy.
So they offered it to him. I didn't know that. Then I'll take it back because if those guys got in because of that, I'd be good. Very
we had
good
to
there.
strap
I
in
gotta
for
go,
a
guys.
second.
You
All right,
got
Bryce.
Have fun
Okay.
watching the Super
Hey
Bowl.
guys,
Enjoy the
the
show.
fact that Sonny gets strapped in during the Pro Bowl is even scarier than him watching Love Island. Okay.
Hey, Love Island is the bomb. So, all right. So, thanks for informing. I didn't even know that. So that's a good thing to know. So I appreciate the.
But you know what though too, that goes to show how important and how meaningful the Pro Bowl is nowadays.
Well,
It's complete trash.
he accepted the first one, but then again, because Trevor Lawrence was so so is he officially a Pro Bowler but just didn't take it? Is that what it is, or does he not get it because he didn't accept it? I'm asking because I don't know.
I don't think he gets the accolade because he didn't accept the invite.
Gotcha. All right, very well. All right, so I learn something every day. I was afraid I wasn't going to learn anything.
Was he not
today.
an All Pro?
No.
Okay, then you know what? Then Pro Bowl's bullshit anyway. Because if you're a so many time All Pro, that's different than being a Pro Bowler.
Absolutely.
All Pro holds a lot more weight. A lot.
No, the All Pro does.
And by the way, the
Yeah.
Pro Bowl was in San Francisco.
Yes, it was.
I don't know where they played it.
Yeah, it was.
I'm not even going to Hawaii anymore,
dude. It was a flag football game on a Tuesday evening. That's what the Pro Bowl was this year.
That's what
they didn't even put it on the weekend. That's how bad.
Bro, I didn't even waste my time.
Yeah,
I was like, I got home.
I didn't even know when it was on because I never. I'll be honest, I never.
First of all, you can't put on the weekend because next week you got Daytona 500 starting out. That's gonna take up your sports Sunday for a lot of people. So
that's true. That's a good point.
That's the Super Bowl of the South.
Yeah, Super Bowl of the South.
That's the best time to nap too.
Yeah, no kidding.
You're a NASCAR guy, huh, Podfather?
No, my parents were NASCAR people. I'd watch it, and I would just kind of like I pull for Jeff Gordon because they were big Earnhardt fans. But I've been to a couple races. I mean, they're pretty cool to go to. I
went to one in Vegas.
I couldn't tell you who the current drivers are. I don't really watch them. But I will say this though. Once they say gentlemen start your engines and my head's on a pillow, I'm out until about 20 minutes left of the race. Okay, I mean, so it is the best napping sport there. I mean, I was doing it during the NFL this year during
so they start their engines and the Podfathers goes into shutdown mode.
Yeah, and
I go to the direction.
The last 5 laps.
listen, they're turning left. I'm turning right.
There you go.
But that having been said, that's the name of this show. Lots of things that I wanted to get some input on from you real quick. I don't know how long we're going to get Cuervo for a lot, but here is the honors that happened. Not that I was expecting anything different. I wouldn't have known who you'd put in as far as that is concerned. Matthew Stafford, if you're the MVP, I don't know how you're not the offensive player of the year, but that didn't happen, obviously. Outside of that, the coaching was where I was a little shocked. I didn't think Vrabel would get it, just to be honest, but I really thought that Cuervo's Ben Johnson was going to get it. I really did. Now, I don't know if that's the hype thing going on Cuervo or not, but I really thought your guy was going to get it in reality.
No, I knew he wouldn't. I just didn't think he did enough to like, trust me, as Bear fans, we love the turnaround that happened. But from a league standpoint, I don't think it was enough for him to get Coach of the Year. But I will say this. This is why I don't like these awards being announced at the end of the season, because you look at who won the majority of these awards, and it's guys from teams that went deep into the playoffs.
Yep.
And either they're playing today or they were playing 2 weeks ago. Whatever, like, not to say Vrabel is not deserving or that he didn't earn the Coach of the Year award, but I think if it would have been announced, a few days after the season was over,
I agree.
Do we say Mike Vrabel? Do we still think Mike Vrabel was Coach of the Year, or do we go with somebody, or did we really think more about Liam Cohen or Kyle Shanahan with half the roster that
Durant.
he was working with, or
Doing it for 2
or even,
years in a row.
yeah, or even the thing about Ben is, he took the worst offense and turned it into a top 5 or 10 offense.
Changed
so
the whole team.
right.
Okay, I do have a question. Maybe I'm dumb for not knowing this. Who votes on these salute to service awards? Military?
I didn't get a ballot. Where's
Because
my ballot?
because Christian McCaffrey got I'm going for what? Staying upright?
His salute to service?
Yeah, that's the award he got.
Well, I know he won that, and he won comeback player too.
Yeah, I mean, I get comeback player, I get that, but what is the salute to service award? Just another ancillary award? Just because the NFL and the military are 1A and 1B pretty much because they always talk about them.
Well, I don't know for sure, Podfather, but I know, like, if there used to be, when we used to deploy consistently, there would be like USO tours that would go on, and there'd be guys that would come out. Like, I met Jared Allen and Larry Fitzgerald on a USO tour once, and so
By the way, Larry Fitzgerald, Hall of Famer,
he got in,
Good for
man.
him.
Congrats to him. Well, but I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Like, you do USO tours, or you go and you visit bases overseas or whatever. But that's the only thing I could really think of, or unless he does something like here in the United States.
The Walter Payton Man of the Year, that's going at us quite a bit. The Art Rooney Award, I don't think that's really talked about that very often. I mean, I'm not sure how you get that. And there's a couple of awards I'm sitting there going, they're just kind of filling in awards just to give people, like the brand name,
Like
the Art Rooney Award. Hey, it's a little bit of a trophy you can give to somebody. But what qualifies you for that?
Yeah, I that's the only thing I could think of, Podfather, is if you do like USO tours, or you work with military organizations to help veterans or active duty members, stuff like that. Like, that's the only thing I could think of. Like, Sonny put up the graphic just now. Caleb Williams won NFL play.
Play.
Yeah, I don't know.
Play.
I know I'm familiar with NFL play, but I didn't know they gave an award for it.
Huh.
And we lost Sonny, so
He's on dial-up.
yeah, Mr. Dial-Up. Anyway, yeah. So I don't know. I can't give you a for sure thing that qualifies, but that's the only thing I could think of, Podfather, just based on what I know.
I was curious because okay, I mean, you got was it your air player?
Sonny, if you're talking, I cannot hear you
I'm not talking.
personally.
It's the best he's ever sounded.
Podfather, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Can you hear me?
We wish we wouldn't.
Can you hear me,
hello,
Cuervo?
anybody?
Hello, I'm here.
I can hear you, Cuervo. Can you hear me,
Can you hear me?
Podfather?
I hear you fine.
Man, I think we're on a bad old cell phone commercial. Can you hear me now? Well, here's what I'll do. I will refresh. Maybe it's me, so I'll refresh again. I'll be right back. Go ahead and try to work with it, Podfather.
Hey, it just does now. Hey, this is the best time to talk. Should we just?
I can't hear you, Podfather.
Can't hear me at all. Give me 1 second. It could be my mic. It could be the microphone.
Better?
It's probably me. I'll jump off.
Yeah.
I'll come back on here in a bit.
Yeah.
I'll come back on here in a few minutes.
Okay. Can you hear me okay, Sonny?
I got you.
Okay.
So
I don't wasn't sure it was my microphone or not.
No. I think today is not even a Sonny Clark. I think it's a blog talk radio StreamYard problem. Yeah, I think it's a StreamYard thing going on. So, but that being said, of course, that's the name of this show. Super Bowl Sunday always, so I'm going over to my brother's house. I normally watch the game alone, which because I'm not with my brother, in years past. So since he's here, I'm going to go over there. But what are you? Do you have any festivities planned? What are you going to cook as far or eat?
Actually, and I don't know if you saw the picture I posted on Facebook yesterday. I went to this barbecue place up in Tecumseh, Oklahoma. It's called Vans Pitch Shack, I think it's called. But I got me some curly Q fries with some pulled pork on top, with some barbecue on top of that, with some ranch and cheese on top of that. And I got me 2 orders, one to eat there that last night, and then one to bring home for tonight's game, for today's game. And I understand that it heats up really nice, so I'm going to put in the microwave, maybe in the oven, depending on how I want to do it. And I'll be eating that.
Oven will always be better.
So I'm going to be eating that for the game, and I mean it's a pretty huge order. So and now obviously when you're sitting there live and eating it there in the restaurant, it's a lot bigger. But so the condensed version is not as big. But I don't care, it's just me and me and the dog. So I mean we're going to sit here and put the game on. See how quickly I bail out of it, I guess,
or fall asleep.
Oh, exactly. I mean, look. I mean, the one thing I hate about this entire thing is that and we all know this because we talk about this on social media. How the Super Bowl halftime show has become such a diverse. I wouldn't say diverse. It's such a controversial situation because of political sides. I hate that.
Well,
and I mean, look, I'm not particularly a Bad Bunny fan. I don't listen to any of his music. I've seen him wrestle. He's okay.
Yep. That's the only way I know him.
But he won the Grammy of the Year award. He got all these accolades. He has an audience, but because a certain portion of that audience, because they voted for one particular orange guy, decided not to, to take part in the Super Bowl. Now they're going to go watch what Kid Rock's going to do on his thing. I'm like, who gives a shit?
When was the last time you actually watched the halftime show?
Like watched and actually engaged into it?
Yes.
I couldn't tell you when, because
I'll tell you the last time I watched it was when Madonna did it. And that was years ago. And it was, in my opinion, the best halftime show that I've seen.
Well, I mean, I know Michael Jackson did one during the Cowboys Super Bowl in Pasadena back in Super Bowl 27.
Which some people would call the
Blues
best.
Brothers had a part in Super Bowl 30-something when they were down in New Orleans, when they were promoting Blues Brothers 2000.
Yeah, they did that was
horrible. I'm a Blues Brothers fan, so I mean, obviously it wasn't the real Blues Brothers. We had Aykroyd.
Well, it wasn't all that great.
I mean, it was all right.
But then again, the Super Bowl, the way it is now, compared to the time when they did it, when the Blues Brothers, it wasn't Blues Brothers, but it's more of a spectacle now with superstars than it was back in those days outside of Michael Jackson.
Do you remember when The Rock took on Mankind during the Super Bowl halftime show on the USA Network, and Mick Foley lost the belt back to The Rock? No, I take it back. Mick Foley beat The Rock. It was a empty arena match. Mick Foley, The Rock had the title. He defended against Mick Foley, and Mick Foley put a forklift on top of The Rock and beat him 1, 2, 3 for the belt.
Wow.
I mean, it was something.
Wow. So interesting.
What is the halftime show?
I didn't realize when that was, actually, to be honest. I have watched that match, but I didn't realize it was done during that time.
What if the halftime show was a wrestling match? Like they wheeled out a wrestling ring and they put in so and so versus so and so at the Super Bowl. I mean, first of all, I could see the naysayers sit there and go, that's a bunch of bullshit that we need to have, a musical artist because it's all paid through by some music group or whatever. But the NFL, ESPN, and the WWE are all kind of in the same umbrella these days. So why not? I mean, it's exposure.
And that would, I tell you how they would have to do that is that the ring would have to be on a movable platform, because it'd have to be done. It takes at least an hour to put the damn thing together. So that'd have to be all done. But that's no different than making a stage for those guys. Well, that'd be easier in reality. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that'd go over with NFL fans because they're so snooty, because it's
Are
got to
they?
be
Are they?
the big one. I think most of them are. I mean,
I
because
mean, I
80% of the Super Bowl tickets are all corporate.
that's true. But the thing is, though, is that I mean, I'm not an advocate for this at all because I would not know how they would pull it off because you only have 30 minutes for a halftime show to figure this stuff out. But
Right.
I mean, the thing is, though, is that as far as a spectacle type thing, I'm not saying that it's WrestleMania, but it's a way to get eyes on the prize and get eyes on your
Fully
product
agree.
and
I'd watch,
TKO and
depending on who it is, but
right.
I'd watch.
Regardless of who it is.
I got an idea. I'll tell you what they should do. Take the top AEW, top WWF, and put them together in that.
Would never happen. Would never
I
happen.
know it would never happen, but that's what would make it perfect.
or you know what you do? You take two of the guys out there that are big high flyers and give them the biggest stage to do all their devastating stunts off of. Sit there and go because again that'll attract, as sad as it is, it'll attract eyes on the prize.
Could you just imagine that that match where they went off the table ladders and chairs match
Right.
happened? Could you imagine that at halftime? How that would blow up, especially that one move.
Look, I'm not advocating that we need to have Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect now because
although that would be pretty.
It'd be
fun.
great for wrestling fans.
Yeah,
Football fans, no. I mean they need table ladders and chairs. They need that kind of thing. And I mean they don't need a Joe need a Joe Hendry sing along. They don't need I mean but I mean it would be something that I think, and I mean it'd be fun. I mean again you tried a lot of different things for Super Bowl halftime shows.
Sure.
Why not try this? Or God forbid, take the Super Bowl halftime show and honor the players that way. Honor your Hall of Famers and I know you do all that stuff before the game, but take the time of your halftime show to honor the game, not just some musical act. Because again, look, I know from the Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake Boobgate to Playing It Safe with Billy Joel and Tom Petty and whoever else, and then jumping right back into into what girls are going to shake their ass and the J-Los and whoever else is doing their thing. Now to Bad Bunny because of who he is. Look, you can eliminate all this crap by just sitting there going, halftime is going to be devoted to the league. We're gonna here's our hall. This is where we're gonna announce our Hall of Famers as they come running out. Doing the whole thing. Here's where we announce our put. Like we already have it decided. We don't have a big ass award show for it. We do it here at halftime. Again, that's giving back to the game.
Time crunch. They got 30 minutes. I agree with you that they would work.
They have 30 minutes to have people run out and get their award and go back.
Yeah. So that's the time crunch, and the people would say, well, they didn't give it enough credit and all that other stuff. So there'd be a lot to it, but I agree with you. I wouldn't have a problem with that. I think, like you said, a lot of other people would, as far as that is concerned. So
well, the thing is, these halftime shows are basic. I mean, I hate to say this, they are basically driven for people who do not watch the sport to tune in because of this.
Absolutely. That's the way it all started. Yeah. Now, how the Blues Brothers got in there, as far as
that was promoting the movie.
I have no. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was down in New Orleans. They're promoting Blues Brothers 2000 at the time. So
okay, yeah, it wasn't John. Yeah. It wasn't John Belushi because it was
no. This was John Goodman. Jim Belushi was a part of it, and so was Aykroyd. So yeah.
But anyway, but yeah, that's what it is. It's to get more eyes on the game and things of that sort. And but I'm not sure when Madonna did it, but that's the last one I really.
I mean, and
maybe the Prince one. I don't know if it was after. I think I watched that. But here's the thing: I didn't watch them until after it on YouTube.
Yeah, I know Prince was. I think Prince was after her, but like I know AC/DC I don't think they've ever done one, but like a Run DMC's done it. They did it with Aerosmith. They did it with with Steven Tyler being a big part of that, and of course, the Britney Spears of the world and everybody. Obviously, today's top music stars are going to come out there and do it because there's a big ass music corporation that puts all this shit together for them. That's a big deal. But I remember back in the earlier days, back when they would have press conferences with the musical artists, the ticket would have their guys out there, and they would ask I think Mike Reiner asked Billy Joel, "Have you realized you've turned into to a former Jewish comedian? What's the guy with the big beard? Can't think of the guy's name now, but I mean, they're asking off the wall questions, right? And then eventually they got banned from asking those questions at all. So I mean, but it was always a lot of fun to have the non-football person being interviewed about a football situation. They're going, I don't know, I'm sure the sign.
The whole thing about the Bad Bunny thing is it's a culture thing. It's culture that people don't understand, so they want to poo-poo it. I don't have interest in it because I'm not going to watch it. I'm going to be looking for the food. And one of the fact that I don't, when I'm watching the Super Bowl, I can care less about who's performing at halftime. I care who's performing during the first, second, third, and fourth quarters. That's all I care about usually. So but I like so I want to be on record. I like the idea of Bad Bunny being there because if you are a person who digs culture, different type of things, you got that last year with Lamar, right? So you get a little bit different. I don't know if that was part of the plan or if it was something that was put together because of politics, and that part I don't know. But the way that it's kind of put up, we got a different type of culture now coming up, and the NFL representing all types of cultures. I think no, let me rephrase. I don't think I like that idea because you get the opportunity to learn something. So that's where
also with the NFL being the global sport that they are next year, the Cowboys play in the first game in Rio. I mean, they
playing in Mexico.
Yeah, I mean they're trying to venture out, and I mean, again, when you have 17 weeks, this takes away the home and away type thing. Now you have a neutral site.
Yeah,
I do like the neutral site idea. I think every team should do that, not just the select teams that are.
I've heard that's what they're thinking about trying to do. I don't know how they're going to do it, but it doesn't happen.
I mean, you have 17 weeks.
Too many games.
You have 17 weeks. You have a chance to take every single team out there and do an NFC AFC, version of a non-conference.
Yep.
A non-conference game
for 16 weeks,
or in a different location to make the sport look better. Because again, you're showing both conferences. You're also showing, what you're willing to do to go there, and plus, some teams will probably play there more than once. Jacksonville will play in England more than once. I got no problem with that.
Well, look at Jacksonville. They don't care. I mean, they go sometimes 3 times a year, depending on who it is and what's going on.
Probably not this year, though, because I'm pretty sure the home base wants to see more of them because of how good they were this year. But yeah, I mean, but like if you're a throwaway team like Jacksonville has been for the last couple of years, you throw them over there.
Exactly.
I mean, right now you take the Raiders and you throw them.
Well, here you go. I mean, you get one game that's not on, that does not count since they got the extra
top one.
week.
That top one is really scary, isn't it?
Listen, if someone asked me, I would have said the Dallas Cowboys. I would have said Kansas City after that. I wouldn't have had New York and the Jets and Giants. Imagine that they play in the same stadium, so they get over 1,300,000 people in that stadium during NFL. No wonder they got it there. But Buffalo, with being a small stadium, I can't believe they're up there in the top 6.
But it is funny how the Jets are the better watched team than the Giants. How?
I Joe
I
Namath.
mean,
I don't know. I don't know.
that's getting there 22
I'm just throwing the
that's getting
name
there
out there.
22,000 people who don't show up to Giants game.
And the
No,
Giants,
granted, I understand because of the Giants, but still, there's still
and well,
the
the
chance.
Giants have won. The Giants should be ahead of them. They've won what, 3 Super Bowls, 4, something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah.
So they should actually be higher in reality when you look at it. But then again, look at the Bears where they were. And so
That's that
this
stadium. I mean, that Soldier Field. Soldier Field doesn't have a big enough audience, so.
no, that's the reason why they're moving. That's the reason why they're trying to get up. By the way, they now through another hat, North Gary is where they're thinking where they can do it. I'm that story alone. I'm tired of it because they got 7 different locations they've been trying to put the Bears at.
North Gary's in Indiana, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So that's why it can't be that. If they go to North Gary, every Chicago Bear fan needs to be pissed.
Well, I mean, like if you're a Redskins / Commander fan, you never really played in Washington. I mean, you always played in Virginia or you played in Maryland, but you never really played in Washington D.C.
Yeah, but that's different, and I'll tell you the reason why. It's because they've always done that. The Bears have always been in Chicago, so that's taken it completely out. The Dallas Cowboys is a great example. They never played in Dallas.
No.
So
they started to back when they played in the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, when in the Cotton Bowl. Yeah. But that was only for 4 years before they moved over to Irving.
Yeah, but that's when they called the Dallas Cowboys. Then they went to Irving and went to Texas State, and then went to Arlington for the Death Star. So,
all right. So this is I want you to listen to what I'm saying. I want you to mirror what I say after with the same thinking.
You want me to shut up?
No, yeah, I'm just gonna say something. You say the same thing, but in your opinion. So I am picking the Patriots to win this football game. And you were out when I told you the reasoning why it's coaching. You got offense, defense, and special teams. And I think the coaching staff is going to be the big difference in this game, how they do it and everything else. So I want the Patriots to win. But what would make me be happy is that Sam Darnold actually does win it. So he can give the big FU to people like me because he proved to me the first 7 years of his career he sucked. And he can now give me the big FU. I'm a Super Bowl champion. So that's the reason why I would want the Seattle Seahawks to win this game. Outside of the fact that they do it without the Legion of Bungholes, that's what I call them, the Legion of Bungholes. And I've always hated Pete Carroll. So the new regime, I hope they get the victory for the new regime. So you're picking Seattle to win. What would make you feel good about the Patriots to win?
I mean, honestly, I feel good the Patriots won as well. I just think that Seattle's defense is a little more stronger than the Patriots defense. And I think defense, and the old saying, defense wins championships, right?
Yeah.
So I think Sam Darnold has proven for 2 years the brighter the lights, the better he could play.
Mm-hmm.
Given the right circumstance of where he was playing at, because clearly that doesn't work in New York, which oddly enough has more fans. But it's look. Drake May, I mean, the thing is, Drake May wins this, you realize you can only go downhill from there.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, because
maybe he goes on the same kind of run.
I don't think so, because I don't think Drake May has the same type of. As of right now, he doesn't have the same type of sway that Tom Brady had back in the day, where receivers and tight ends will then go, I'll go play with Brady.
That should make them better.
You would think, but the thing is, will they win the game because of Drake May, or will they win the game because of defense?
Hey, there have been many Super Bowls that were in the same way of what you said, because of not being great. Obviously, you just go to Baltimore and think about Trent Dilfer. Trent Dilfer didn't run, throw for 350 yards and three touchdowns. It was a defensive game. The defense won the football. So there's a lot of things. I like that. That's a good point.
The one thing I don't think we'll ever see again, which sucks because, it tells you just how different the league was back then. Only one time has an MVP of a Super Bowl lost that game. Can you name that player?
Yes. It's one of two people. It's either a quarterback for the Denver Broncos or the Buffalo Bills.
Neither.
Well, okay, then I'm wrong. What is it?
Former Dallas Cowboy Chuck Howley.
Who?
Former Dallas Cowboy Chuck Howley. He won the MVP of Super Bowl of the year when the Cowboys lost to the Colts.
Oh, I misunderstood your question.
No, you didn't. You heard me fine.
No, I misunderstood your question.
No, I mean, as far as the team that's lost the game, but had an MVP to come out of it.
Yeah, like I said, I misunderstood the question.
And for that matter, I mean, only the Dallas Cowboys have had a Super Bowl where, in a winning Super Bowl when they beat the Broncos, 2 MVPs came out of it: Randy White and Harvey Martin. So, again, things you'll never see again, because the NFL is not kept like that anymore.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty much, I mean, the MVP will probably go to either the quarterback or the running back. So, if he scores 3 touchdowns, I'm sure he'll get it. But they get a receiver that gets a big ass return or whatnot. Very good defensive player ever get it. I remember when Larry Allen for the Cowboys got it against the Steelers. I'm like, well, he should get it because he got all the interceptions. But damn, why not give it to Deion? Because he made sure Larry Brown could get those interceptions. I mean, there's always one way to look at it. But
well, I think that the list, if you look at the last 16 of it, I'm pulling this up here just real quick. Let's see, out of the last 16, they're all quarterbacks, if I'm not mistaken. Here, let's look at them. They're right in front of me. I'll get the picture.
I think Malcolm Butler is that his name. The guy played for the Patriots. I think he got against the Seahawks.
Out of the last 16, it was one that they're all quarterbacks. At least the last 16. So going back to 2009, I'm looking at all of them, and every single one of them were MVP quarterbacks. They're all quarterbacks. So I'm wondering when the last one was that wasn't a quarterback.
Malcolm Butler?
I don't think so. Malcolm Butler played after 2009. If I'm not, I could be mistaken. MVPs, not quarterback. Let's find out. And this should be it.
Here you go. I'll see it. Okay, 2021, Cooper Kupp.
Adrian Peterson.
Okay, well, Adrian Peterson never got a Super Bowl.
No, MVP. I'm talking MVP.
Of the league?
Of the league, yes.
I thought this was Super Bowl MVP.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Okay.
I'm just talking things that, kind of along your lines. How many, last time we seen it was Adrian Peterson for the MVP of the league, and that was 2012. So wait. Oh yeah. Okay. There it is. I didn't see the picture. So, yep. So,
okay. Damn, you're right. Yeah, Adrian Peterson was the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Then before him, LaDainian Tomlinson, Sean Alexander.
Which, by the way, him not being in the Hall of Fame, and yes, and I'll make this argument all day long. Him before Frank Gore. Sean Alexander was a beast for 7 years. 7. And Frank Gore, if you want to call him a beast for 3 years, you could do so. But I think that's even a little bit too much.
Okay, here you go. The last time a defensive player ever won the MVP, 1986 with Lawrence Taylor.
Yep, Lawrence Taylor.
A kicker won the MVP. Was it 1982 with Mark Mosley? A kicker.
He was a Washington Redskin, wasn't he?
He was.
That's right.
right,
He kicked like six field goals in that game, if I'm not mistaken.
A right defensive tackle, Alan Page, 1971 with the Vikings.
Wow.
Fullback Jim Brown, of course, he would get it in 65. Then Jim Brown actually got 57, 58, and then Unitas Warning. Okay, so I mean, it's primarily a quarterback's award
for the rest of its time.
Yeah, I mean, because Manning's got it a couple times. Aaron Rodgers, Cam Newton, Matt Ryan, Tom Brady, of course, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen last year. So yeah, Steve McNair got it. I mean, but he won't
even Cam Newton got the MVP.
Cam Newton got it. I mean, Kurt Warner
you want to talk about someone becoming a caricature of themselves?
Right.
Cam Newton. Oh my God!
Isn't it where the Barry Sanders only got it 1 year?
I don't think Barry Sanders ever won the MVP.
No. He got in 97.
Did he?
Yeah. I'm looking at it right now.
Definitely deserving. I
don't think he'd have gotten more than that, but Favre got it 3 years in a row.
Who got it 3 years in a row?
Favre.
Brett Favre?
Yeah.
That doesn't shock me. He had a 4-year portion of his career that he was just outstanding.
Dude, Rich Gannon
he only won 1 Super Bowl.
Rich Gannon got it for the Raiders, 2002.
He's probably one of my more successful Kirk Cousins in reality, or Jimmy Garoppolo's. I always loved Gannon.
Okay,
I thought Gannon was the guy that you should mold your quarterback like. I went during the day.
Okay, Obi would enjoy this. 1980, Brian Sipe, quarterback for the Browns.
Yes.
He got it.
Yep. It's the last time they were successful. That's why it's such, you want to talk about drought. We thought the Cowboys had a drought. Damn.
Oh, dude, I mean, Walter Payton got it in 77.
Yep, and should have gotten it in another year, by the way.
He should have gotten it in 85, but they gave it to Marcus Allen.
Well, it was in listen, and with all due respect to Bear fans and Cuervo, Walter Payton wasn't the same running back that he was in 85 when he was running over people in 1980. Okay, so it's just a different player. Glad he got it. And more deserving. But by the way, they should have never gave that ball to William Perry to run it in for that touchdown. Was, by the way, that was second down that they got that on, and Walter could have got it in there. And that is one thing. It's petty, but that's one thing that I'm, still hold a grudge against Mike Ditka about. Not giving it the sweetness to where he could get in there because, the
Bears are who we thought they were.
Moves like that. So,
hey, Wilmington, North Carolina's own Roman Gabriel got in 69.
That was Super Bowl 3, I think, right? Or 2.
He's with the Rams. The Rams went in 69. No, this is the NFL.
It was Kansas City and Green Bay.
Yeah. This is the NFL Hall of Fame. This isn't Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. All right, there you go. All right, very good, cool. But I don't know. It's been one of those years. Glad to see we get a little bit different. Obviously, the Chiefs have been running roughshod over the AFC for last 7 years. So So it's nice, even though it's the Patriots.
You need to hold Chris Collinsworth and go, it's going to be okay, but
there's 2 things I'm going to say. Actually, I'm just going to say 1. No, 2.
No,
the people who criticize Chris Collinsworth don't know football. Okay, so I'm going to leave it to that. They don't know football. Now, they want an entertainment side of it. Chris Collinsworth knows football. Chris Collinsworth was one of the inventors of the Amazon stat thing. The guy knows football. Maybe his articulation of football and football plays might not, but there. Listen, and people say the same thing about Joe Buck. Those people who don't like Joe Buck don't know football.
Well, first of all, Joe Buck is a play-by-play guy. This is in the area that you and I would, when we were doing commentary. You would call the matches. I would throw in the paint.
Right.
You know, and Chris Collinsworth is a guy that throws in the paint. And I think for his part, and by the way, I think Romo's gotten lazy with this as well. I think Aitman can get lazy with it if he had to. They focus on a particular player, because Madden did this too, by the way. They focus on a particular player on offense and defense, and that is who they are going to talk the most about. And
aren't they usually the superstars, though? I mean, that really kind of.
I mean, they are, but like with Madden, it was always Mark Tuinei, or it was always Larry Allen. It was always someone in the trenches, right? Because that's who Madden was. Collinsworth is the specialty player. He's a receiver. He's a quarterback. He's a tight end. He's the one that's going to look at who moves the ball down the field more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Romo's the same way when it comes to quarterbacks, because that's his specialty.
They hired him for that. Let's be honest. They didn't hire him to be a defense, to look at what he does defensively, because even though he could see it and he calls both sides of it, which makes Romo better than most. He doesn't just call the offensive side. He sees the defense and what it is in order to get that offensive play, more so than this is what they're going to do on the offensive side of the ball. Romo's great. He's probably top 5 right now.
But like for me, I'm like with Troy, I like him because he mixes well with Joe, but also the fact that he comes at this and you would think he'd be biased because he's a former Cowboy, but he's very unbiased. Very unbiased.
He rips on the Cowboys. That's why I like him.
Yeah, and I mean because he'll sit there and be honest with you about, well, this team's where they're at because of who the owner is. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, there's a lot to the production of the game, and the Tom Brady, by the way, he's good, but if you notice, when the play happens, he's really quick to go, ooh, just like a real quick
fan side of it.
Yeah, like he's feeling the moment,
Exactly.
And I don't know if they need that, but at the same time, that's who he is, and obviously that could be blown up by radio stations and everybody else to sit there and go, this is how we're going to judge who Tom Brady is. Going back to what we talked about earlier about him being a first ballot Hall of Famer, I think because he's with Fox and because he's becoming one of the voices of the NFL, that's why he'll be more of a shoo-in for the first ballot than, say, a Bill Belichick, who had all the other issues that went on with that as well. And again, Deflategate is nowhere near as bad as Spygate. I'm sorry, but that's just the nature of the beast. Yeah, dude. I mean, look, we got another hour of this show to go here, and I'm sure we'll get more.
I've only really kind of scheduled this show for 2 because I'm going to my brother's here fairly soon.
Okay. That's cool.
So that's why we weren't really ripping into the meat, and I'm glad that we got Bryce on. I didn't expect him at all, so that was nice that he was there.
I expected him till April.
Yeah, I did. Well, I expected him after Super Day, but I didn't expect him to see him today. But that having been said, it is the big game. Exciting part of it. It just takes away from what I'm going to do for 6 months as far as Sunday outside of doing the show. So it's just so. But take away from that, again, tomorrow's our 17th year. Something that has always been a non-scripted thing. Just getting with my buddies to talk football. How outrageous it might get at times. That's the reason why we do it. You never know when it might get outrageous. So, but
I mean, you and I had a nice Hall of Fame talk last week about ways to get into the Hall of Fame, and then
Yeah.
and how many times can you get into the Hall of Fame? Because like in other circles, you can get in there. I mean, I think the NBA actually you can get in there twice.
You can. I found that out. But I don't know about baseball. You can get in at both as well. By the way, just like
But baseball you can get in as a player, then you can get in as a manager. Which, by the way, makes you wonder what kept Pete Rose from getting in as a player.
Well, yes, because it didn't get in because of the player, because they banned him for what he did as a coach.
Right.
So
right.
that's the reason why. But
right.
that having been said, they did that as a big fu to him. That's all it was. Now, granted, we can argue but it was an fu to him.
I mean, look, I get it, because I truly think if you bet on the game, you pretty much told everybody that you've thrown games that you could have won for money away. That's why the Black Sox got banned the way they did, and you have to kind of keep up with that. Just because of Pete Rose, look, more people have paid more attention to Pete Rose being banned than they did the Black Sox. Does Shoeless Jackson belong in the Hall of Fame? Maybe number wise, maybe he should have, but because he's tied into the Black Sox thing, not so much.
Yeah.
And you can 8 men out, and Field of Dreams can definitely shed a light to it. But at the end of the day, they bet on baseball, and that's why those guys are not allowed in the Hall of Fame. And Pete Rose really should be held to that very same standard, because here's the thing: how many years did he lie about not doing it?
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, is that not until he wrote a book, then he died.
Well,
when he finally wrote the book, he said, "Okay, I bet on baseball." So all those years of debate of saying you didn't do it, I mean, you shot yourself more in the like you asked for forgiveness after you have burned every bridge you possibly can. This is almost like the Hulk Hogan steroid thing. If you'd have come out back,
that's a timing thing, though. More
it is. But if you could come out in the early '90s with your Hulk Hogan and say, "Brother, I take steroids because I have to maintain a look," okay, you're forgiven, because that's
so much. But see, that don't hold weight to me. And the reason why it doesn't hold weight is because.
Hold on a second. But he won the Arsenio Hall show. Says I only took it a couple times, and that's it, knowing that he flat out lied to everybody else. Then later on, in testimony against Vince, he says, "Yeah, I took steroids all the time." Why lie about the Arsenio Hall show? Why don't you come out and say, "Yeah, I did it"?
Then you can say the same thing about men who say I didn't never fool around on my wife. Of course they're gonna lie about it. That's right, because that's what puts them in the trouble, and they're gonna like Pete did, hung on to it for a long time. That's my story, and
until the dying day, almost till you wrote a book.
Exactly, and same thing of men that fool around on their wives. Of course they're not. They're gonna tell them that they didn't, because they did lie, because it keeps them out of trouble that much longer. That's why they lie, and regardless of it, and I get it. I understand it. I also kind of, to a certain extent, understand why the grudge was held, but why it was held for so long is beyond me. And the fact of the hypocrisy of it. Now, in Pete's case, there wasn't hypocrisy, more so than just time. But everybody else.
Had Pete Rose come out much earlier, after he got out of jail, be one way of doing it. Because he did go to jail for a little bit. But had he gotten out of jail and said, "You know what? I fucked up. Bottom line, look, I've done this, I've done that. Yes, I bet on baseball. Yes, and you know what? I did what I could to defend it." People would eventually say, "All right, that's fine. You know what? We get it." But he never gave us that time to really appreciate that. And then all of a sudden, he gets sick and dies after he wrote a book about how he bet on baseball. Now we're like, "Well, he should go in the Hall of Fame." Like, well, had he had better PR about it, I guess.
Well, that is true in the Belichick side of that too, because out of Belichick, if he could have been loved by the media, he probably would have got in.
Well, but here's the thing, though. Belichick's going to get in.
Well, there's no
Man,
question he's going to.
I mean, it may not be this year, but probably next year. Pete Rose will never get in.
No,
So
he's eligible. He's eligible in 5 years, if I'm not mistaken,
and
based
guess
on
what?
what they did. But I think he'll get in because there's enough time that has gone by, more
But
so than Belichick, which was around the corner.
But baseball, we talked about this last week. Baseball voting for the Hall of Fame is way different than the NFL.
No,
And
I don't.
sometimes,
I didn't agree with you last week, and I don't agree with you this week.
well,
Petty indifferences and grudges will always
no.
be in there. No matter
I think,
if you were personally involved or if you were a writer for the team, and you hated that
but,
team, the pettiness comes
but
in and
Sonny,
plays into that. So I don't believe it.
Sonny, normally a sports writer goes in there and throws out the case to the Hall of Fame brass, right? That's normally how that works.
Yeah, they have it's kind of the same thing with
Okay.
NFL.
Who?
They got people within the game itself, that Major
All
League
right.
Baseball, and then
Okay.
they got the writers.
All right. Who for the Cincinnati Reds today can go towards the MLB Hall of Fame committee and talk good things about Pete Rose?
Well,
Who's out there that can do it now? That person may already be dead by now, because mostly sports writers don't last till they're 6 or 7 years old. Pete Rose was 80 when he died, so I mean,
wait, yeah, but you're leaving out the fact that the hatred of certain teams, regardless of the situation, don't
Who's
exist
the
just
Reds?
because all those people die. No, that lingers. That kind of stuff lingers.
Yeah, but then again, who nowadays hates the Reds?
I can't remember the teams that were ingrained with them when they were the big red machine, obviously on the National League side. But
you're talking 50 years ago. We're talking going today in front of the brass. Who's currently
and that's
alive?
what I just said, though. That's what I just said. That grudge does come into today's thing, regardless of what you may think. I think, as far as those kind of grudges hold. I'm telling you. And you didn't even have to be alive to hate whether it was Cincinnati or whether it was the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, you didn't have to be alive to carry the grudge of what the past was, and that comes into play almost on every team.
Okay, here
within any sport.
Okay, here we go. How do MLB players get elected to the Hall of Fame? To be elected into the Hall of Fame, MLB players must meet specific criteria and following a structured voting process. Here's a summary of the steps involved. Eligibility: they must have played at least 10 years of Major League Baseball and been active in Major League Baseball at some point between 5 to 10 years. So, yeah, you have to at least spend enough time in the sport, which he has done.
Correct.
The voting process: the Baseball Writers Association of America votes annually on retired Major League Baseball players. The era committees consider retired players no longer eligible for election by the Baseball Writers of America, along with managers, umpires, and executives. Voting requirements: the player must receive at least 75% of the votes cast by the Baseball Writers Association. The election cycle. The election cycle for the Hall of Fame is typically held annually, with results announced. Okay, so yeah,
it's a little different than Major League, or different than football. But those, listen, people still hate the Steelers because of how good they were. Remember, people hate your Dallas Cowboys because they, and they hold those grudges. And again, you didn't have to even be born to hold those grudges. The freaking Dallas Cowboys haven't been in contention for the Super Bowl for over 30 years. How many young people hate the Dallas Cowboys because of who they are? All that stuff goes with the people who are voting. And,
okay, says Pete Rose not in the Hall of Fame due to a lifetime ban by Major League Baseball following accusations of gambling on. Okay, based on accusations of gambling on baseball, including games of betting on his own team, the Cincinnati Reds, ban was permanent and was later was later gone through by the NFL by the Hall of Fame in 1991, preventing anyone on the permanently ineligible list to be inducted. Now, again, when you're putting a lifetime ban,
Yes,
what does lifetime mean?
I agree.
I mean,
Within his life, yes.
I mean,
Well,
this is
it depends on how you look at it. Lifetime could be never. Lifetime could be while he's alive. That just
well, I
depends
mean,
on what the definition was
look,
going to be.
look,
Now he's dead, and they're going to
as-
put him in.
as we approach the football off season here pretty soon after today's game, what do voluntary mean? We're going to hear a lot of that, right? I mean,
Well,
all the voluntary workouts and involuntary workouts. What do
Voluntary-
voluntary mean?
Voluntary workouts for guys that don't think they're going to be on the football team. That's what that means. But when you're sitting with a $60 million contract, well, Dak Prescott would show up because he's just that
He does
way.
show up.
I listen, I'll tell you something about Dak Prescott that I find better than most football. It's a class act. He really
very
is
much
a
so.
class act.
Although,
Unlike
although I will say this, for him to go under anesthesia for 11 hours to get his leg tattooed, don't know about that.
I don't know what this is. What are you talking about?
He has a big ass leg tattoo, right?
No, I don't know that, but okay, now I do.
Look it up. He went through 11 hours of anesthesia. They had to knock him out to do the tattoo. He didn't sit there through the pain.
Was that because they did it all in one session? Maybe
It was
instead
11
of
hours. It was
overtime.
11 hours, so I imagine you do it all in one session. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably a one session thing, which would require that more so that if he did it in 11 visits, it probably wouldn't need it. So he just wanted to get it done and get it done.
Yeah, and I mean the amount of money it would take to first of all, would you trust a tattoo artist to give you anesthesia?
11 yeah, well, they have that gas. They got the laughing gas. I know. I didn't go under it because I got two small ones, so I didn't need it.
You got tattoos?
I got two of them.
I knew that.
I got this one right here, which is my son.
Oh, it said mother.
Huh?
I thought it said mother.
No, and this one here, my Jaguars, right there. So yeah, I those are the only two, and they didn't take long. But when you 11 hours, I think you probably. I think this one took 20 minutes. It was so easy. But this one I think took maybe 45 minutes.
This one I got here. By the way, shout out to tattoo artist in Greenville who did what's his name's tattoos. The guy who I called the human coloring book. The big guy.
How long did that take?
This took like maybe 2 hours at most.
Yeah. So yeah, 11 hours. They were covering a lot of skin and putting in a lot of ink.
So what would the Jaguars have to do for you to look at that tattoo and go, "Why did I do that?"
I've never questioned it myself.
But what would they have to do?
To what?
For you to sit there and go, "Why the fuck did I do this?" Well, like I would never get a Dallas Cowboy tattoo.
Well,
I love the Cowboys, but I would never
actually,
get
this one. This one right here is the original. Well, wrong arm. This one right here is the original logo, which they stole from Jaguar, and I always thought it was the coolest logo that they've had. And then Jags 24 represents an email that I got. So Jags 24. And it was based up on my favorite number, 24, and my favorite football team.
I guess. Well, like on this arm right here, I have a Superman tattoo, like a Superman logo tattoo, but from Superman Returns, and that's the 2006 movie that was kind of a sequel to the Christopher Reeve movies. The S was pretty bad. Now since then they've had other S's,
right,
and almost better S's. Really, I mean the current one they have now is kind of a really bad SS, but because it just looks more like just a slash in the middle, but you see the S kind of formed. So it's kind of cool, but then again, I will never sit there and go, well, let me put the next one under here and the next one under there, because this is the one I'm sticking with. So it's kind of a regret, but at the same time, I do need to color it up again because it's been over 20 years, I think, since I've had it. So, it's one of the things. But yeah, I mean,
that having been said, within the next time that I have time, and when I can find it, I'm gonna watch the one Superman movie I've always wanted but never watched it.
Which one's that?
And The Man of Steel. Superman one. That's one I always wanted to watch, and
Yeah.
I just never have gotten around to it. And I recently, it's weird that you brought that up. I'm going to watch that. I'm going to find it. And I'm going to watch it
Did
whenever
you
I
ever,
have about two and a
did you ever
half
see the
hours of
sequel
time.
that came from it? The Batman vs Superman and Justice League.
Say that again.
Did you ever see the sequels that followed it with Batman vs Superman with Ben Affleck being Batman?
No.
They're not bad. The director's cuts are the best ones to watch. The ones that came out to the theaters, not so much.
Oh, okay. Didn't know
Yeah,
that.
because like Batman vs Superman, the director's cut is almost like it's almost like two movies.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's a
I
long,
mean,
long ass movie.
because you kind of go into why Batman hates Superman because of the destruction of Metropolis after the first movie, and then the fact that he lost a lot of people from his Gotham thing, and then you bring in the Wonder Woman aspect who comes into it to help put the Justice League together eventually. Those movies are so unfairly judged because they had the Marvel universe to go up against, and clearly Marvel had their shit together.
Yeah.
But for what they were, they weren't bad.
No, I don't think any of them are bad. It's just whether or not I'm going to get into them is more than anything.
Well, yeah, I mean the first Superman, the Man of Steel was rather epic, and how they did Krypton on that movie was way different than what they ever did with Richard Donner movies. Way different than what you've ever seen with Krypton. This is, I mean, it's almost like
that's like
Avatar.
Batman 1, 2, and 3 compared to the other Batmans. Completely.
Right. Yeah, I mean, but it was almost like they took this like a page out of Avatar, but made it more comic booky, as it were. So that's even.
I'm gonna check that out. Well, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go get set, and then I'm gonna go eat some food. That's what I've been planning on all day, is eating food. So I'm gonna go do that and enjoy the Super Bowl. We'll talk about it next week here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. That show will be at 3:00 your time. So we're going from 3 o'clock to 6:00 your time on Sundays in the off season.
Okay.
So that's a steady time. I'll get enough time for my Sunday off and still be able to do the show. So instead of getting up early to do the show, I don't want to do that in the off season.
Well, so just out of curiosity, so you don't want to stick with the 12 to 3 that we normally have for me over here?
No, because if I do sleep in a little bit later, so it just yeah. So just more in the fact that if I had 2 days off, I would do 12 to 2 days off in a row. I would do 12 to 3, but since I don't, since they're split, I'm gonna take that extra time. So yeah, cool. Off season 3 to 6 your time. So we'll knock it out. So that's going to do it for us on the Couch Potato Sports Show. Everybody enjoy the Super Bowl. I don't want to hear about whether or not you liked halftime. I don't care, because I'm not watching it because of the halftime show. I'm watching it for the football game. So we'll talk about the football game next week here on the Couch Potato Sports Show.
The game was horrible.
17 years on the show.
17 years.
Enjoy. We're out of here, everybody. Bye-bye.